Ever wondered who really discovered America? Forget what you learned in history class about 1492. We need to rewind the clock almost 500 years earlier, to a time of legendary longships and fearless Norse explorers. This is the story of the Vikings and their journey to a new world. By the late 10th century, the Vikings had already pushed the boundaries of the known world. They weren't just raiders anymore, they were master sailors and settlers. They had conquered the harsh landscapes of Iceland and even established colonies in icy Greenland. But for these restless adventurers, the horizon always called. Whispers and tales began to spread among the Greenland settlements, stories of another land, even farther west, a place no European had ever seen. These stories captured the imagination of a young man named Leif Erikson. You might have heard of his father, the famous or infamous Erik the Red, who founded the Greenland settlement after being exiled from Iceland. Leif, inheriting his father's adventurous spirit, heard a report from a sailor who had been blown off course and spotted a mysterious coastline. Intrigued by the promise of a land rich with timber, something desperately needed in barren Greenland, Leif decided he had to see it for himself. So, around the year 1000, Leif Erikson and his crew set sail into the vast, unforgiving North Atlantic. They weren't guided by modern compasses or GPS, but by the sun, the stars, and an intimate knowledge of the sea. Their journey was a brutal battle against thick fog, treacherous icebergs, and bone-chilling currents. It was a test of courage, skill, and sheer endurance. After days or even weeks at sea, their perseverance paid off. Land appeared on the horizon. They had reached a new continent. What they found was a paradise compared to the icy shores of Greenland. They saw dense, towering forests, lush meadows, and rivers teeming with salmon. It was a land of incredible abundance. They explored the coast, making several stops. One place was so full of wild grapes and vines that Leif named it Vinland, the land of wine. It seemed like the perfect place to build a new life, a land of opportunity. But this new world was not empty. The Vikings soon came face to face with the native inhabitants of the land, people they called Skrælings. At first, their interactions were peaceful. The Norsemen traded milk and red cloth for valuable furs. But these two worlds were vastly different, and it wasn't long before misunderstandings and cultural clashes led to tension and conflict. The Vikings were skilled warriors, but they were vastly outnumbered. Their dream of a permanent settlement in Vinland began to crumble. The small group of Norse settlers was thousands of miles from home, with no hope of receiving reinforcements or supplies from Greenland. The constant threat of conflict with the indigenous peoples, combined with the immense distance, made their position impossible to maintain. After only a few years, they made the difficult decision to abandon their settlement. They packed up their longships and sailed back to Greenland, leaving Vinland behind. For centuries, this incredible story was dismissed by many as mere myth, a tall tale from the collection of Norse legends known as the sagas. The idea that Vikings reached America before Columbus seemed too fantastic to be true. But then, in the 1960s, everything changed. Archaeologists made a groundbreaking discovery at a site called Meadows in Newfoundland, Canada. They unearthed the remains of a Norse settlement, turf-walled houses, a forge, and artifacts that were unmistakably Viking. The sagas were real. The physical evidence proved, beyond any doubt, that Leif Erikson and his crew had lived in North America nearly 500 years before Columbus ever set sail. This discovery rewrote a major chapter of world history. It showed us that the Vikings were more than just the fearsome pirates of popular culture. They were daring explorers whose curiosity and incredible seamanship led them to cross the Atlantic and become the first Europeans to set foot in the New World. Their journey to Vinland is an often forgotten, yet crucial, piece of the grand puzzle of human exploration. So, the next time you think about the discovery of America, remember the brave Norse sailors who faced the unknown and wrote the very first chapter. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more hidden histories. See you next time.